Hey everyone, it's Michael Kikle. I hope you're doing well today, and I haven't made a video in a few weeks. I'm sorry about that. I've been busy with my other channels like the horror one and the comic book one and whatnot, but I haven't made a video since Christmas, so hope you had a Merry Christmas, and I hope you had a great New Year's Eve, and I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful 2025, a new year for you, and I hope you accomplish your goals, man. Let me know down below if you want to share any of your goals you have for this year. I don't have many, but I have some that are very important, I think. Anyway, as you can see, this is a predictions video for 2025. I'm gonna list it specifically, though, like limited, I guess, to the physical media realm. And this could vary amongst anything. It's not a release video. It's not like a, I want Cat Dog volume whatever on DVD. It's not like that. It's, I want to just list my top 5 things about the community, about the realm, about the releases and whatnot, stores, YouTube, boutique label discussions, anything like that for this video. And I've even got it kind of ranked out, if you will. My first things I'm going to bring up at number 5 on the list out of the 5 will be the least likely things to probably happen, all the way up to number 1, which will be the most likely, that I'm the most confident will probably happen. I haven't heard anything. There's rumors about certain things in the media sphere you probably heard of, so a lot of my list probably won't surprise you. But I think some of them will. I really do, just because of my own hunches about what I think about some of the stuff, based on what I'm seeing in the community, seeing online, seeing in person, amongst us, the hardcore collectors, and normies. So I have a lot of discussions here, but let's go ahead and get into number 5 here. And again, remind yourself, number 5 is the least likely to happen. My first pick for number 5, most physical media channels will quit YouTube. Now, I have kind of a follow-up video to go along with this particular discussion. For some reason, here lately, all of the physical media channels that are shills, like the total shill corporate weirdos, the ones that are obvious shills with the highest budget, best cameras, best lighting, the typical streamer douchebag background where you have a purple light and shit back here, or a blue light, or a green light. It looks like a fucking nightclub that's empty, you know? A lot of those people are the ones who make all of the really famous YouTube videos, and there's so many of them in the physical media realm that just stack up on subs. Somehow, I don't get it, but they do. Anyway, so these guys are all at each other's throat all of a sudden. I think it has a few things in there involved that I'll get more into in a standalone video about this topic. But it's like a drama farming thing that's happening. And it's getting so bad that it's bringing in people I actually love in the physical media realm, like Planet CHH or Christian Hanna Horror. If you've never watched his channel, check him out. Wet Movie 1, the guy who's friends with Cool Duder, back in the day pretty much. They've dragged Cool Duder into it. These people have lost their fucking minds. Not Wet Movie 1 and not Planet CHH, those are great guys. It's other people, the shills in the community, the ones that are willing to pay these insane boutique label prices for shit that is not worth it. Like Never Ending Story for $200 fucking dollars because it's shaped like a big ass book. What's wrong with you? Why would you buy that shit? Anyway, I'm the man who owns Dolly Dearest, so why listen to me about that? But the point is, these people are all turning on each other. They're dragging in the good creators like Planet CHH and Wet Movie 1 into this bullshit. And I just think it's ridiculous. I think it's really showing how even the guys who we all thought were getting a lot of shit for free, I think maybe the price is a heavy toll amongst their heads at this point, where they're all kind of like, I can't keep affording to do this because I'm having to buy shit and sell my soul. They can't handle it anymore. They're not liking it. I personally believe that that sect of YouTube will die off. One big reason for that is because you're seeing so many of these assholes get 10 and 15 and 20 movies, and then they're like, I'm not watching this. Or they're like, hey, I bought this, supposedly. Or I got it sent to me, I'm gonna put it on my shelf, but I haven't watched it. You know, I have 5,000 movies in my collection, but I've seen 30% of it. Why the fuck are you collecting it all? My goal in 2024, not to be a hypocrite, was to work through my backlog of shit that I had never seen in my collection. The majority of the movies I finished up. And I had a lot. I had probably quite a few hundred movies, I would say, that I've had laying around over here in a stack. And I have a bunch of TV shows. The TV shows are really what held me up, and some other projects of reviewing things are what held me up too on other channels. So I had my own issues that trying to work on that. But I can promise you I've seen about 90% of my collection, and that stuff was like a good 10% of my collection. But even so, these assholes don't know the majority of anything. When you hear them talk about film history and whatnot, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. They don't know shit. They don't know a fucking thing, and it's very obvious. So that's a problem, and I think it's beginning to turn around and bite them all in the ass. That's just me, though. Moving along to number 4, boutique labels will become more expensive because of the trick or treat, Never-Ending Story and Deadpool and Wolverine releases. I think we can all see the writing on the wall that these assholes, the shills and whatnot in the community, that are willing to pay these insane prices for shit like a DVD of Deadpool and Wolverine, or again, a big-ass book-looking thing for Never-Ending Story for $200, $300 for a fucking plastic toy chainsaw that you could have gotten from like a Home Depot toys section in Walmart for your fucking child, because it came with a DVD and a VHS of fucking Texas Chainsaw Massacre. What the hell is wrong with you people? People buying up shit like that, it's already killing the community. People say it's thriving the community, but you're a fucking idiot if you think that, matter of fact. I would say that plenty. But the boutique labels, I'm already heavily against anyway. The only boutique I think I own at all is a couple of Criterion for obscure shit like Eraserhead. I think I have Elephant Man. That's about it. And Dolly Dearest, because I love Dolly Dearest. I don't really buy boutique, excuse me. I said bouquet. What the hell is that? 4K Blu-ray? I don't know. I don't buy boutique because it's typically a ripoff in my personal opinion. There's not enough special features and books that you could give me to make me justify $50 or $60 for a single movie, much less a metal container with Deadpool 3 in it that makes me want to justify a $70 price tag. That's fucking stupid. That's stupid. Why would you do that? But the asshats who just kept eating it up, whether it be as scalpers, which makes sense, that's their whole business, but people are not falling for scalping much anymore. They did for PS5. That's about it. Outside of that, not really. Not for movies, not in the community. People know what they have and what they want and what it's worth. You know what I mean? On both ends. So I don't think people are falling for that anymore. But this whole massive purchase from people who have never even seen that original Trick or Treat, it's not even the Trick or Treat that keeps Spirit Halloween alive, you know? It's the Trick or Treat that no one's fucking heard about, out of like 4 movies called Trick or Treat. Why did you spend $60, $70 for that? Because it came with a fucking book that you're never gonna read, ever, because you claim to be a movie fan? I mean, you can be a book fan and a movie fan, obviously, but I don't think many of these shills have been, you know what I mean? I don't think they know how to read a book, the majority of them. When you hear them talk, when you see them talk, for that matter, when you see their opinions and how it's like Reddit inspired, you know what I mean? Not that Reddit's completely stupid, but, you know, still, pretty amazing shit, to be honest with you. But I think that these asshats, these shills, are going to ruin everything for us in the community that actually care about movies and care about the movie. Not all of this extra shit that has nothing to do with our film that we want, supposedly as fans, not for people like us that don't blind buy a $70 single movie. Not a movie pack, not a series, one movie. These assholes are ruining everything else for the rest of us, and the boutique labels will continue to scam you out based on that, you know? How many times does that happen to people, that they have to buy some shitty 70s or 80s movie that's obscure, that got like a 2-day release in theaters in like 50 years ago? How many times do you have to get ripped off and spend $50 on that because it looks good, because you like the fucking packaging? Stupid assholes. Anyway, moving along to number 3, AMC Theater will shut down. I locally have a lot of AMC. Some of them used to be Regal, they became AMC because of those particular buildings. In my personal opinion, I think they were falling apart, but that's what I typically go to. Now, I don't really go to the theaters very often. I love movies, but theaters, I can't really get the time to go. My wife doesn't want to go, whatever. AMC is like the white trash branding of theaters. That's just the truth. I mean, I've lived in them most of my life. I've been to them a million times in my life. There are specific theaters they took over the old buildings for, some of them Regal, like I said, that got worse when AMC took over. I mean, worse. Everything from the projection to the seats, the fucking floors are sticky. The worst thing about them, though, that really pisses me off, is not the concession stand prices. That's the thing I can take, almost. It's in the middle of the movie, you have the fucking floor aisle lights on. And they're not the same ones from when I was a kid, before AMC bought some of these theaters out. I don't think Alamo does this. I have friends that have worked at Alamo a lot. A lot. And I don't think Alamo does this. I could be wrong, though. But in my theaters that I grew up with that turned into AMC, they had little yellow bulbs to go up the aisles. And they didn't hurt your eyes. If you came in late into the movie, you could still fairly see decently. Now, you can get kicked out of a theater for having a bright-ass white light phone on the whole movie, which most teenagers do at AMC. The normies don't go there. That's why I think AMC is the one that's going to go, not something like Alamo, where all the hipsters, and if I had an Alamo here, I'd go too, because they serve burgers and shit, apparently. I didn't know that. I loved theaters that did that when I was a kid, so that would be even cooler if I had one here, but I don't. But now they have these bright-ass LED white lights on the floor that stay on the entire movie. So if you're watching a movie in the theater that you were really excited for, especially if it's dark, like As Above, So Below or something back in the day when this first was something I experienced, the whole movie, if you're sitting over here, you're doing this. You're blocking the fucking light during the film, and it's annoying. It's really annoying. It's like sitting beside one of these teenagers that you avoided and sat in the back deliberately to get away from these teenagers in the theater. And it drives me nuts. I fucking hate the aisle light thing. Every time I go to AMC, there is no one there. I don't care what movie it is. I don't care with how bad movies are now. I think the last time I was in a fully packed theater was in 2012 with Avengers, when a friend of mine and I went to it. But outside of that, have not been in a packed theater ever since, and sometimes I've been on release night, sometimes I've been on release weekend, sometimes it's been weeks after, which makes sense why I wouldn't see them there. But those release weekends, doesn't make any sense at all. There should have been a lot of people there, but there's not. There hasn't been for a long time. It's why Regal, I think in a lot of places locally to me, sold out into AMC. But yeah, I'm pretty sure, if I had to bet, that because of inflation, because of normie audiences that would go to an AMC who don't give a shit about going and buying food at an Alamo or not being able to use their phone because movies have gotten so bad, not only that, the audiences have gotten so bad that they're passive with movies. They don't treat them as an active art that they can love and pay attention to, you know? They act like they're at home watching Netflix and shit. These people are not coming to the theater anymore. They're not being tricked to come to the theater anymore either. If something doesn't look good, they're not gonna go. Look at the MCU prices and stuff. I mean, they're not making money anymore, really, because of how much they pissed off even the normies, you know what I mean? It's gotten bad. But anyway, let's move along to number 2 here. FYE will go out of business. Now, this should not surprise anyone. I don't know anybody who collects physical media in 2024, now 2025, or much less in 2023, 2022, all the way back to like 2015, that are hardcore collectors like me that actively buy things from FYE. I may get something here and there. Typically when I go, the only things in the bargain bins are like Whoopi Goldberg movies, Ninja Assassin, which has been in the bin since like 2010 when it came out, or 2008, 7, whenever the fuck that movie came out. Great movie, by the way. FYE has gotten insane on their prices. Personally, I think there's a couple of things holding them up. Number one, weebs, because they sell anime and manga and like Bootio's cereal now, and that's like it. You know, when you go in there, most of the store are toys, shirts, manga, and even not even good manga. It's Attack on Titan, you know what I mean? And Dragon Ball is holding them up. That's basically it. I think a little bit of that love from their audience that still go to FYE is coming from that. Even though I never see people buy shit at my local FYEs when I go like once a year at this point. But number 2, the price, I guess the other thing that's holding them up too, I guess I'll jump to real quick, is probably the recent past success, I would say, where people like me would go in there on a Black Friday and buy a bunch of stuff. One of my favorite stores ever back in the day, when I was very young, converted into an FYE. It was the first ever FYE I'd ever heard of. I'd never heard of it before that, not online, not in person. And it was a physical media store that basically bought out those things from that old store, you know? But FYE has sucked ever since it showed up in my local area. I've not been a fan of it, even as a hardcore fan nowadays. I still think it sucks. You can go in and try to get like an Arrow video release or something, and it's shit. It's terrible quality, it's used stuff, and they're charging you like $70, $80 for it. You can have an old-ass, terrible-ass movie from like 5 years ago, like Black Widow, they still want $20, $30 for a DVD. No, get the fuck out of here. FYE cannot possibly keep surviving, in my personal opinion. And I don't know any physical media collectors who go there. Everybody's going to pawn shops, which we have like 1 or 2 here that actually sell movies. The rest do not. But then you have like, people go to, Goodwill. Goodwill, just every once in a while, Goodwill will have something worth picking up. Majority of the time, no. It's usually when you don't go there that they have something in stock that you wanted, and you'll never know about it, so that'll keep you up at night as a physical media collector. But FYE literally never has anything I want or anything I'm willing to pay 20, 30 bucks for an old-ass DVD from like 2006. It's not happening. TV shows and stuff. I used to find a good deal for TV show seasons I needed for my collection out there. I'm not paying like 40 bucks for a season of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. You're out of your goddamn mind if you think I'm going to do that. I don't deserve that, you don't deserve that, and Will Smith doesn't deserve that. Moving along to my final pick here. Number one, the one that I'm convinced the most will absolutely happen. Walmart will stop selling movies. Now, I know what you're going to say. But in light of Best Buy going out of business, in light of Big Lots now going out of business, or at least the majority of the stores are, which Best Buy didn't go out of business, but they will. Mark my words, they will. I only think since Target hasn't been in the game for like 5 years now, 6 years, something like that in my local area, we don't have any small shops anymore aside from maybe one that I go to pretty often, like once a week at this point, that I love deeply, but it's not any kind of just physical media shop. That's matter of fact held up more by its tech stuff. Walmart, you can tell the writing on the wall that they don't give a shit about the movie section anymore. They just don't. They have a lot of TV shows on there. They have a lot of DVDs in there, which I don't mind DVDs. A lot of people do. I don't, though. Now, they're limiting Blu-rays. I don't think I ever see 4Ks in Walmart anymore. I have a Super Walmart. It used to be the second biggest one in the whole country, apparently, for a long time there, since they had moved the store down the street years ago. But I love that store. I do. I hate Walmart as a company, but I love that store. I found a lot of good things in Walmart over the years, like when Ed, Edd n Eddy got a complete set either last year or the year before. Nobody talked about it online in the physical media community. Nobody even discussed it at all. Found it through a fucking, just wandering into Walmart in a different area of my state. Found it on the shelf, and I about lost my mind. Now, it's not a complete set, but it was there of Ed, Edd n Eddy, and I lost my shit. It's one of my favorite cartoons of all time, so I was pretty stoked about that. Every once in a while, you can get something good at Walmart. Every once in a while, they have a good release. But like I said, getting back to the writing on the wall, they don't even make the effort to rush out getting the DVDs and Blu-rays and the new releases on the aisle, you know? They prioritize seasonal releases, like a bunch of Hallmark shit taking up a whole end cap every Christmas and Thanksgiving, I guess, too. You have, right now, they're moving out that whole section to put in Valentine's Day horror movies with black and red slipcovers. Mind you, the slipcovers look pretty good, but it's generic shit. It's like The Descent. The fuck, how the fuck did The Descent, I can't even say it. How the fuck did The Descent become a horror Valentine's Day movie? Is Valentine's Day even mentioned in that movie? I don't think so. We're not talking My Bloody Valentine. We're not talking anything like that. We're talking about date night movies. They don't count as Valentine's Day just because your cover is fucking black and red. I think the writing is on the wall that Walmart's going to drop that. They were saying earlier this year that if Xbox didn't do well, they were going to drop Microsoft Xbox stuff. That was talked about a lot, you know? And I don't blame them, by the way, because gaming has gotten so horrible in general. I think all the companies are bad right now except for Nintendo Switch. Nintendo's bad as a company, but the Switch is the best console of the newest stuff. Plain and simple. I don't care how old the tech is, it's a good console. But I think Walmart will drop physical media with movies and keep albums, as in vinyl. They have a little bit of CDs where I still live, but not a whole lot. Mostly vinyl, you know, and some shitty-ass books. That's about it. When it comes to movies, I don't think they're going to keep carrying shit. I mean, who needs another big-ass box set for $90 of the Jeffersons? Every once in a while, you can get a good deal on those. Amazon sells them cheaper, but they always come in damaged for me every time I fucking order one. But still, I hope I'm wrong about this, but I think it's very clear. After Target, after Best Buy, now after Big Lots, which was another place I used to love to get the stuff, especially on Black Friday when I worked there, Walmart is like dead. Like when it comes to physical media movies. It seems to me like they just don't give a shit about it. The employees you talk to talk about how Walmart doesn't give a shit about it anymore. We customers do. Walmart does not. People are not buying 4-packs of the live-action Scooby-Doo films, including the 2 that premiered on Cartoon Network. They're not buying Looney Tunes on Blu-ray. They're not buying any of that shit that Walmart's putting out on the shelves. And I understand why they would put those out. Those are kind of guaranteed buys for the older generation who happen to wander into that area looking for the bathroom. You know what I mean? I get it. But I don't think it's going to keep happening. I think they're going to get rid of that whole section eventually. That's just me. Maybe they'll still sell the TV series and not the DVDs and Blu-rays and movies. I mean, they got rid of the $5 bin because of inflation. You know, they have a $7.50 bin still at my local stores, but even that one's getting kind of skimpy, man, at this point, which is sad because I love those low-budget bins, and $7.50 is a little high to buy certain movies for, you know? Every once in a while I find something good in there, but most of the time, no. Most of the time, no. And movies are doing so bad now in general, it seems a lot of the time to me that when something is supposed to go on the shelf, it almost directly goes into that bin. Like Madam Web, for example. Anyway, that's pretty much my top 5 predictions for physical media as a community. I would love to hear what you all have to say, commenting on my picks, what I think will happen. What you think will happen will be even more fascinating, because maybe there's some things I didn't take into account. Maybe there's some things you know about that I don't know about, whether it be by rumor or whatever. I'd love to hear all that down below too. Thank you all for watching, guys. And again, tune in for possibly another couple of videos. One about all this weird drama farming shit in the community. But also, maybe my top 5 or top 10 hope-fors, wish list, whatever, for the year that I really want on physical media. That in a dying realm of this type of thing may not happen, but things that I would love to see happen. So tune in for all that. Let me know what you think about my stuff, your stuff, everything down below. Hope you have a great new year once again. God bless you guys. See you later. I don't know how to end the video.